but they're in man right here, bringing some pressure. Dropping out. Showed man, played zone.
Run.
That's what Dennis Allen wanted to do right there, Pate. Everything looked like man.
McCarthy is down. And a sack by the Chicago defense. A loss of 1. McCarthy. Time runs out and down he goes. Just tripped up. Play clock is at 1. They just got it away on 3rd and long. Watch out! Picked off. There's Wright down the sideline. Gets a block. And now a touchdown. The former Vikings. Pick 6.
Of this offense.
Play action. Steps up. Down he goes. That is Tano Passanio.
He's so worried about the snap, and obviously he's having even a hard time hearing the calls coming in.
They play a conservative hand to Mason, and he is dumped.
Conversion of the night, so they just had a hard time sustaining any type of drives and should have there.
Line drive punt. Duvernay with a fair catch. Bears ball again as they lead by 11. That's Naylor in motion. This is Jones, and a good play up front.
They were able to find some hay there, and then on the secondary, all the basics were working for the Lions.
Goff on 3rd and 10. It's dropped. St. Brown. Johnson may have gotten a piece of it. This is Gibbs. And he is forced back, stayed on his feet. And then he is marked down back at the 2nd down and 7.
Speaking of, Noah Sewell makes that tackle.
Williams looking for some blocks, gets some 1st down and more. Javonte Williams gets a great lead block out there from Steele, and the ball comes out. Chicago says they have it. They do! Tyreek Stevenson punched it out after the long run of 26. Prescott, quick throw. Pickens tipped, and it's incomplete. Boy, that was hanging up there. Blitz coming. Prescott doesn't see it, and he gets dropped. Bears get home with the first sack of the game. It's Dominique Robinson. That's a biggie, obviously. 3rd and 12 gives him a first. 4-man rush. Prescott looking around. Throws. Pickens just dropped it, and it's picked off. Tremaine Edmonds in the right place at the right time, and he's got it for the Bears.
Certainly not completely insurmountable, but you are in pure desperation mode at this point.
And he's in trouble, and he goes down for the sack. Montez Sweat gets home.
How many bodies are at the line of scrimmage? Dak is basically guessing, are they coming or not?
Ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's incomplete. 4th and goal. Cowboys have to have it. Prescott looking. Can't find anyone floating. Intercepted again by Tremaine Edmonds. His 2nd of the day, and the Bears take over. Under a minute to go. Milton back, zips one, and it's picked off. Kevin Byard's got it for the Bears, and that will officially seal the deal.
Boy, Gino has to feel that high snap on 3rd and 10. Throws a dart, and he's picked. Center of the field, it's Byard. And Byard has some running room. Gets down nearly to the 20-35 on the return. Boy, they roll the dice, and they don't get it. Football then comes out. So that'll give the Bears even better field position down close to the 20. Tyreek Stevenson, who had that incredible defensive play early last week against Dallas, makes the recovery.
But they have a lot of different variations when they give an offense this look.
Raiders 0-2 on third down so far. Geno protected this time. Geno over the middle, and that's picked. It's Byard, his second INT of the half. Aditi asking those hard questions. Geno Smith gonna run for it, and he is picked again. Tyreek Stevenson with a mesmerizing play. Pete Carroll talking about Gentry, just so rock solid, his mental makeup, even after the struggles the first couple of weeks of the season.
He or the offensive line took a lot of reps in the preseason, maybe 15, 20 snaps in total.
On second and goal, this is Gentry, unable to slip the initial tackle. Good push. It was Dominique Robinson and Shamar Turner. Jacob Bobenmeyer, the snapper. A.J. Cole, the holder. The kick is blocked. Unbelievable.
Second down and 5. End zone picked off. Intercepted by Brisker. Samuel was the target, and Brisker's out near the 35. So back to 1st and 10. Krosky Merritt left side, well played by Chicago, ball out. Back to that jumbo personnel with Trent Scott in there. This time Daniels keeps, chased by Tremaine Edmonds, and forced out of bounds with a loss of 3 by Byard. Mayfield on that graphic will have Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers at the Lions next week. Here's Samuel brought down in the backfield by Nashawn Wright, and Baker Mayfield's magic. And yet a 2-point lead for Washington. Daniels is swallowed up and brought down back near the 32.
They got to find a way to get him open down the field. Get that explosive play with that elite speed that he has.
Taysom Hill, the motion man. Rattler under pressure. Ball is out. He fumbled, and it's recovered by Chicago. Montez Sweat able to jar that loose, and the Bears have it at the 24-yard line of New Orleans. Rattler with pressure coming, and Rattler is going to go down. Kyler Gordon. 2nd and 19 after the penalty. 4-man pressure, in trouble, and the 3rd sack of the day. Jaquan Brisker. 3rd down and 28. Pressure again, a wobbler, and it's almost intercepted. But flags come in where Brisker hit Rattler. 3rd and 9, pressure coming again. It's picked up. Rattler intercepted. Picked off by Nashawn Wright. Across the 40. Wright still on the move. Down the sideline. Nashawn Wright out of bounds near the 25 of New Orleans. The Saints are averaging 0.4 yards per play right now. Check down. Kamara blasted as he makes the catch. T.J. Edwards making another play and a loss of 1. 3 for 9 this year on 4th down. Kamara up the gut. He didn't get there. Not even close. This Bears defense is absolutely dominating. Rattler gets away from Sweat. Direct in traffic. Wants to throw downfield. He's got Shaheed out there, and instead it's intercepted by Kevin Byard. His 4th pick of the year.
Those 3 guys to talk to about scenarios and situations, it's huge.
Pressure coming. Rattler can't get away. Tremaine Edmonds with the dive and the ankle sack. Rattler under center. 4th down and 1. On the roll. Rattler throws. It's deflected and intercepted by Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds with the pick. And Rattler with his 3rd interception thrown today. The Bears take it away.
Ravens are 14-3 after the bye under John Harbaugh. Huntley steps up, and Huntley nearly lost the ball. Montez Sweat had a beat on the quarterback and never gave up on the play. They could have declined the penalty. It would have set up 4th down and 1. Huntley, he's in trouble. And Huntley is brought down at the 24. Timeout called. The Bears get home with Gervon Dexter. But as we know, nothing is set in stone. Shotgun, fake it. Huntley to run it. Couldn't get to the outside, and he's buried at the 15-yard line. It's a loss of 3. Couldn't muster enough offense in week 6. Coming off the bye, facing a 3rd and 5. Nearly intercepted. It bounced off the hands of Byard. Henry in the backfield with Ricard. They give it to him. And Henry is brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Most of the time they go to some sort of a zone, but there's always some pressure off of it.
Bears rush 5 and they get to Flacco. And it's C.J. Gardner-Johnson making his first big play for the Bears defense, a loss of 6.
That is not one that I recommend for Chicago Bears.
Quiet start for Chase. Not anymore. His second catch. Flacco! Boy, put the perfect touch on it for Chase, who just couldn't squeeze it for the touchdown. Going back to last week against the Jets, just incredible. Flacco buried. Football came out. Chicago has recovered.
Asking himself, he's probably going to have to at least score, 2, maybe 3 more times in only 1 quarter.
Flacco never had a chance. 3rd sack. Flacco over the middle. Flacco's pass intercepted. It's Edmonds. Edmonds has a convoy. Flacco is the only guy left. Edmonds in for the Chicago pick 6. And the Bears finally turn out the lights here in Cincinnati.
So if you're the Bears, no matter what happens, knock the ball down or tackle.
Flacco trying to give his guys a shot. Fires down the field, and it is picked. Nashawn Wright. And the Chicago Bears survive a career day from Joe Flacco in a potentially epic comeback by the Bengals. But in the end, it's the Bears in a thriller, 47-42.
So sitting here at 2nd and 7, or 2 and 7 on the season, but feeling excited about the future because of what he brings. And this first play gets blown up. Tyrone Tracy loses a couple of yards. Andrew Billings with the tackle. Opening drive touchdowns, 4 of his 6 starts. And this run play is blown up. Tracy couldn't get started. Lost a couple. The leading tackler, Tremaine Edmonds, has his first. We see Dart use his legs here. He's been the best running quarterback in the NFL since his debut. Short roll. Tries to run, but nowhere to go. He got swallowed up. Gervon Dexter there to finish him off.
They struggle defending the downfield pass. They got to open it up on these early downs.
Oh, baby, a blitzing C.J. Gardner-Johnson making an instant impact. Fake to Singletary. Dart to throw. Wants his tight end, Bellinger, and he's got him. Ripped away at the last moment, though, and incomplete. Jaquan Brisker tore it out of his hands.
Drops issues coming into the game. He's been really sure-handed here in the first half.
2nd and 10. Dart runs, throws on the move, and it's picked off by Wright. No, he dropped it. Had a pick and then knocked out of there by Krzyzewski.
Around the Giants organization, the question is, can they win enough now to make the wait worth it?
Dart looking to find room himself again. Blockers in front. Jackson Dart inside the 20. The ball is out, and there it is. The Bears come up with a takeaway.
Side of the ball, you know you're going to have a good day.
Singletary, this time lost a yard. Booker with a tackle in the backfield. Beg your pardon, it's Sewell. Dart out of the game with a concussion. Russell Wilson has taken over. Play action on the first play of this drive. Wilson chased. Montez Sweat gets there.
A lot could happen in a little over 3 minutes, but just something to keep in mind down the stretch.
3rd and 7. Wilson gets sacked by Gardner-Johnson. 2nd of the day.
They've just gone backwards way too much. Last week, 8 false start penalties just puts them behind the sticks and gets them all out of rhythm.
Here is the play fake. Some pressure from Sweat. McCarthy lets it go. Oliver makes the catch, but he's going to lose yards. That was played really well. Another play action. Pressure coming. McCarthy steps up, throws, and it's intercepted by Byard. Kevin Byard with some room to roll. Gets a couple blocks inside the 30. The 5th interception, the league leader.
To get ourselves in scoring range, meaning field goal. Once you're in there, now we're thinking touchdown.
4-man rush. McCarthy going deep for it all. End zone intercepted. Nashawn Wright, who had a pick 6 against McCarthy in week 1, with a terrific pick.
Tough situation is a tough blitz package that he's dealing with now on 3rd down.
Blitz coming. McCarthy stands in, throws incomplete. I'm not sure who that was to. Hawkinson was the nearest Viking, but there were a million Bears in the vicinity, and it's 4th down. Justin Jefferson, bottom of your screen against Nick McLeod, who's in because Stevenson's hurt. Looking that way, tipped in the air, incomplete, and it's 4th down. Montez Sweat got his hands on it.
Shotgun on 2nd and short. Rudolph to throw it. Looking for a big play, sideline, and it's intercepted.
On cue.
Nashawn Wright, but he was out of bounds.
I don't know. We got one ref saying he was inbounds.
We have an updated weight on Washington if the situation comes up to explain it. Hayward.
Man, he stalled right out of the gate there. I think that extra weight from Washington might have helped.
Steelers think they have the first down. The Bears disagree, and the officials agree with the Bears.
And he's playing some of his best ball here in Chicago.
So, new set of downs for Pittsburgh. Play action. Rudolph out of the pocket. This time he's not getting away. Montez Sweat gets home. Hey, where are you better as a quarterback? Well, he said, I got a great defense and a great offensive line. That's a good place to start. It's a deep shot. Downfield. Incomplete. Roman Wilson, the intended target. They took a shot on Nashawn Wright, and Wright holds up. Motion man is Metcalf. They need 2 yards. Rudolph underneath. The spin by Gainwell against the grain, and the Bears read it perfectly. Metcalf is back in there. Rudolph looking. Rudolph is sacked.
Ball's out. Ball's out.
Ball is rolling around. Who's got it? Bears had a shot at it. Steelers then had a chance. The long run by Rudolph negated by the penalty. Fake the handoff. Rudolph in the pocket. Rudolph, his pass is deflected. Incomplete. Clock is ticking. They need 6 yards. Rudolph throws, and it's tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's over. The Bears defense comes through.
Four-man rush. Hurst fires over the middle, and that's incomplete. And the next sound you hear will be this. 3rd and 9. Under pressure. Off his back foot, gets it away, and that's incomplete. And there's your Serenades. Seasons in Atlanta. Comes over here, off the fake, on the run. Hurst going deep downfield and into traffic. And that is picked by Byard. 3rd and 1. Here we go again. Here's the chance. The tush push. Did he get it? I got to tell you something. We talked to Hurts about this the other day.
They go quick here. Love's got time. Looking deep. Now in trouble. Here comes Montez Sweat, and he is sacked. Sweat leads the team in sacks. 8.5 for him now, and he makes the play in a 3rd and long for Love. Stands in, zips it, and it's intercepted. Another turnover. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has it. Looking for blocks, and he's inside the 40.
Defensively, he said we got to stay square in the run game because he knows that's what they're going to do in the second half.
Aaron, that was a chock full of stuff. I like it. Really detailed from Matt LaFleur, and that time Jacobs goes nowhere as Austin Booker in on the tackle.
B.J. Edwards there on that stop as well. It's 2nd down and 8. And down goes Sanders. DeMarco Jackson with the sack. 3rd down and 8. 4-man rush. Pressure up the middle again. Sanders in trouble, and down he goes. Ball comes out at the end of the play. Austin Booker with the sack.
But it's been outstanding. They've been pressed into service, and they've responded.
Sanders on first down, deflected, and it's intercepted. DeMarco Jackson's got it. 3rd and 9, big play. Sanders with time to the sideline. Tough throw for Judy, and Judy has it intercepted. It's picked off by Jalen Johnson.
He's hanging in that pocket as it breaks down around him, and he's trusting his guys and making some decent throws.
Pressure rate of 55% today. Bears rush 4 here. He's got time. Nobody open. Sanders in trouble. Down he goes. Gervon Dexter with the sack at the 11. Things have not gone well in Cincinnati. For Cleveland, it's Sanders looking for Fannin, and it's picked again. C.J. Gardner-Johnson with the interception. 3rd of the day for Sanders. Gardner-Johnson is down at the 23. Looks warmer there than it is here. 2nd down and 1. Sanders, the flip, and Williams popped. Chris Williams drops Travion Williams. 3rd down and goal for Shedeur Sanders and the Browns. Sanders pumps, pressured, and down he goes. It's Grady Jarrett. 4th and goal. Sanders in trouble again. He escapes for the moment. Sanders sacked once more. Austin Booker with the sack to end it.
Emmanuel Wilson in the game at tailback for the first time as Jacobs gets a rest. Here's Love. Ball's batted down at the line and incomplete. Grady Jarrett got his hand in there, and it's 3rd down. Josh Jacobs back in. 1st and goal, Green Bay. 2 minutes to go in this first half. They're up 3. Willis looking to throw a fade to Dobbs. Knocked away in the corner by Stevenson. Willis to Jacobs. Churning forward, and then Wright tried to pry it away, and the ball came out. Oh, he did. Who's going to get it?
Churning the legs, and Nashawn Wright rips it out. What a year he's had. Picking the ball off.
We'll see what they got. Malik Willis. Pressure in his face. Steps away, and he's sacked. Montez Sweat gets home.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a fake. Willis rolling out in trouble. He is hit. Surges forward, but he's not going to get there. T.J. Edwards snuffed it out, and now a big decision for Matt LaFleur.
Season high 48 points Monday night against Indianapolis. Purdy to the air right away. They jumped around. It's picked off. The Bears have it. T.J. Edwards inside the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown Chicago on the opening play. The Niners win this game and that game. They put the suitcases away. They will play every playoff game here, including the Super Bowl. McCaffrey left, cannot get away. It was Noah Sewell who had the first hand on him.
What's up?
For the Chicago 45, Purdy out of the pocket, look out from behind, taken down. The big first half for Austin Booker continues. Every week he's going to school. 3rd and 3, Bears bring it full. Purdy's got time. Sideline shot for Tonjes. Entangled with Jaquan Brisker, the safety. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down from here. A field goal will be 56 yards. 100 yards rushing in the first half. First time in his career that's happened. Now on 1st and goal, he comes off that 100-yard mark.
2nd and 1 for Goff. Back to throw, going to set up a screen outside, and that gets absolutely swarmed. Nowhere to go that time. Brisker and Robinson came in to make the hit on Anthony Ferkser. Goff zips it. St. Brown is incomplete. Brisker there with another good hit. And here comes the field goal team for the Lions. First down, play action, pressure. Goff is in trouble. He is sacked by Montez Sweat. Goff batted down again. Another Bears lineman. That time actually was a linebacker, T.J. Edwards, who Goff pressure up the middle. Now it comes around the edge, and he is sacked. Gervon Dexter with the Bears sack, and boy, do they need that. They give it to Montgomery. Oh, here comes the pass.
Oh, boy.
He's in trouble, though. Looking to throw it. Bears swarm him, and he's dead to rights. Goff was the intended target, but he was well covered down the field, and they got to Montgomery, and here comes the punt team. Goff to throw. Pressure up the middle. Zips one deep into heavy traffic. Intercepted. Kevin Byard, the league leader, has another one. Looking for some blocks. Up across the 25.
2nd and 7. Love stepping up, and Love will be taken down. Taken down there by Austin Booker, making the pop there, number 94. Off the fake. Wide open. First down, and a ton more down the sideline. Diving in. Does he get in for the score? He does. Christian Watson on a 4th and 1 from 23 yards out. What a dagger. Big break for the Packers. Can they cash in? And that pass is thrown into a lot of traffic intended for Dobbs. Tyler Gordon making the play there. 2nd down and goal. 2nd down and 10. Jacobs, he gets stopped in the backfield, so the crowd rises to that occasion. Love will go to the air and dumps it off to an eligible lineman who came in. Look at it. And then the ball comes loose. And the Bears thought they had it for a moment, and then it goes out of bounds. Of all crazy stuff, they went to Darian Kennard on a tackle eligible, lost it, and it rolls out of bounds off Gervon Dexter Sr. That beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5-point game. Meanwhile, you got Josh Jacobs is going to run the kickback. And Jacobs through the middle to the 48-yard line. The ball is out. The ball is out. Who's got it? Officials untangling. Cairo Santos, the kicker, was there. Meanwhile, they have Jacobs, of all people, go figure that, running back the kick. And it belongs to Oladapo. Play clock at 2. 2nd down and 10. Off his back foot, throwing. You got action and contact in the end zone intended there for Luke Musgrave. And incomplete.
Defensive side, Emmanuel Forbes banged up. We'll update that when the Bears get it back. Stafford in trouble, got hit as he threw it, and that ball is recovered for the moment by Kyron Williams. Gets to the throw. Brisker sack at the 34. He had one all year, but he is having a terrific playoff.
Surround Caleb Williams. You're going to have to do with what you've got. Done a pretty good job.
Another 3rd and 11. Stafford again. Shot for Nakua. Brisker knocked it away. What a series for Jaquan Brisker. Rams will punt.
This is generally when they get back to him. Comes the blitz.
3rd and 9. Stafford in trouble. And down at the 20-yard line. Tyler Gordon. The opening ceremony. What a month we have ahead. So thrilled for it. From the 24, Stafford in trouble, the ball's out, fell back on it. The pressure up the middle, Dominique Robinson. They jump the ball, they go quick, Stafford's looking end zone, throws it up top, it's knocked away by Stevenson, who's having a terrific game as well. Bears can get the ball back with about 1:55 left with the 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning here. See what they do. Inside run Williams, that's a big play. Back behind the line of scrimmage by Byard. Pitch. Coro. Off the first hit. Not the second one. Kevin Byard with the stop. The Rams will punt to the Bears. Stafford out of the gun, gonna throw. Looking. End zone for Ferguson. Broken up in the last second, C.J. Gardner-Johnson